Well, here's the best prop bet. Because see, me and my kids when we were younger, my son, he used to want to catch Santa Claus. So I used to bet him. I said, I tell you what, if you catch Santa Claus, I'll give you $100. So I think that would be a really good prop bet. Can you catch Santa Claus? Okay, well, look, here's the thing. When I look at all this, I see teams that are going directly for that World Series, and I see teams that are trying to just simply rebuild to get to the World Series. Mets, Yankees, Astros, 1, 2, and 3 for me.
Mets first?
No. I was just about to say, but you interrupted me there, Rob.
Sorry.
And not in World Series order is what I was about to say.
Okay.
Let's talk about all three of those for a second here, Rob. Okay. And then we'll get down to who I like. And if you don't think that players recruit players, you're crazy.
All right, baseball isn't boring. You know what else isn't boring? I have confirmation. Betting isn't boring. It's the Betting Isn't Boring segment with our betting correspondent, Jonathan Papelbon. When we want to know about betting, with gambling, with figuring out what is going to happen in the future, we go to the person who actually can predict the future. The best of the best. I mean, I don't even know what that means. I am dressed for the occasion. I'm wearing sunglasses. My hat is backwards. I'm ready to bet. I'm ready to figure things out. So please, Pap. First of all, how are you? You good?
First of all, I want to say hello. I want to say Merry Christmas. I know, 'tis the season, and 'tis the season to make money.
Oh.
That is what we're doing. We're going to make so much money. Let me just tell you something, Rob. We're going to buy the whole neighborhood Christmas presents this year.
Ooh, wow. You're like the gambling Santa Claus.
Yes.
Look at you.
In fact, I might even have my Santa Claus suit on for Christmas.
What is the prop bet when it comes to Santa? Let's give me a good prop bet when it comes to Santa Claus. Think of something.
Well, here's the best prop bet. Because see, me and my kids when we were younger, my son, he used to want to catch Santa Claus. So I used to bet him. I said, I tell you what, if you catch Santa Claus, I'll give you $100. So I think that would be a really good prop bet. Can you catch Santa Claus?
That's a good one. Yeah, plus 100.
Yeah.
So there you go. Well, hey, listen, Pap. I mean, it's really good timing, honestly, because when everyone woke up as we taped this, the day that we taped this, the baseball world was set on its ear, and the lines were moving all over the place. And we were going to already talk about sort of futures when it comes to the World Series and teams and this and that. But isn't it awesome when you can wake up and you say, holy mackerel, I get the Mets at blank, and now they're at this. And you just, if you like the Mets, and what I'm talking about, of course, everyone woke up and saw that Carlos Correa bizarrely signed with the New York Mets. But holy crap, Pat! This is why we do this. This is why we try to. You probably knew that he was going to fail his physical with the Giants and sign with the Mets. You're that wired in.
Look, if you think baseball is boring, and if you think betting on baseball is boring, let me tell you something. You're boring. Because when you get this kind of roller coaster of events, and we're in the off season,
I know.
and to me, I really love to bet this time of year on baseball, just because of the fact of something just like this. If you do your homework, if you pay attention, and you're not some Joe Schmo off the street that is, big Cincinnati Reds fan, we're going all the way. That guy, he's going to lose his money every day. But if you stay with this guy, you're buying the entire neighborhood Christmas presents. It's my favorite time of the year.
And basically, your gift to everybody, which is, a week before 2023, your gift is that you are going to make everyone rich in the coming year. So by the time we hit 1 year from today, 365 days from today, people will be living in their mansions, driving their fancy cars, because of one thing, because you have made them rich, correct?
Correct. Cinco Ocho is here to make you rich. And, here's the thing. When you bet baseball, okay, you've got to understand all the nuances of baseball, okay? Do I bet soccer? No, I don't bet soccer because I don't know soccer. So for me, it really boils down to getting that inside information and boils down to knowing what type of players you're betting with, because it's just like a horse. Do I love to bet the horses? Yes, but you better know what type of horse you're betting on. Okay, we're betting on horses here, and so I think that has a big impact on how you're going to either win throughout the season or lose.
And I know that I've known that you've bet on horses because I've seen you dress up to go bet on horses. And I mean, in this coming year with baseball, I suspect that you are going to be dressing up in horse-like fashion, I guess what I'm saying. I know this, and we've talked about this. I feel, forget about making everybody money. By the time we get to this time next year, you're going to be wearing a top hat with an ascot, with a monocle, and everyone's going to be like, oh my goodness, he is the be all end all when it comes to knowing when it comes to betting on baseball. Am I wrong?
Well, I feel like, and I don't want to disclose too much yet, but I feel like if this all goes right, my crystal ball is probably it's not in the picture right now, it's got a bunch of hardware, but the crystal ball may come out. Top hat may come out as well.
Yeah, I like that.
We'll see.
All right. Well, we got to get down to Brad. We got to get the momentum going here. So as we said, the big news: Carlos Correa, he has signed, he's agreed to terms with the Mets, dramatically changing the landscape of futures with the World Series. And of course, we immediately go to the FanDuel Sportsbook. And that's what I did. I woke up and I looked at this. I said, hey, where is things shifted?
Do you wake up every morning and check FanDuel like myself?
I do. Every single morning. There you go.
It's like a routine. Yeah.
It is like a routine. It's, it's before the orange juice, before the power bar, before the 5-hour energy, all of it. And now, I love all those things, but I do love to look at the FanDuel Sportsbook odds. And this morning when I woke up, because I checked them yesterday too, Pat. And I'm like, well, why are the Mets, with all the signings that they've made, sort of like behind still the Phillies and the Braves? But boom, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. FanDuel Sportsbook, World Series 2023. And we'll go through some of these other ones. Right now, they are neck and neck with the Houston Astros at plus 650. So those are the 250. Those are the two favorites. The Mets and the Astros, with the Yankees just behind at plus 700. All right. So what's your takeaway from that? Do you concur with that? Of those three teams, and I'm sorry, and then you have the Dodgers not far behind at plus 750. So you have the Astros, you have the Mets, you have the Yankees, you have the Dodgers. You know what's what when it comes to winning World Series, because I have not won a World Series. You have won multiple World Series. Right? Correct? Or at least
correct.
So when you look at the Astros, the Mets, the Yankees, the Dodgers, at those prices, at those odds, what do you got?
Okay, well, look, here's the thing, okay? When I look at all this, I see teams that are going directly for that World Series, and I see teams that are trying to just simply rebuild to get to the World Series. Mets, Yankees, Astros, 1, 2, and 3 for me. Okay.
Oh, Mets first. Mets first?
No. I was just about to say, but you interrupted me there, Rob.
Sorry.
And not in World Series order is what I was about to say.
Okay.
Let's talk about all three of those for a second here, Rob. Okay. And then we'll get down to who I like. Yankees, I think, did a phenomenal job this offseason. They, to me, caught the biggest fish in the pond. They were out there, they were fishing, they had the best lure, and they caught, and let me tell you what, They had a lot of New York City, man, it's a great lure. I mean, who doesn't want to play in New York City, right?
Right.
Number one, that, and number two, they kept him in a ballpark that I feel like, as a pitcher facing Aaron Judge in his ballpark, I do everything I can to simply try to induce a ground ball, because I know a simple pop fly in that ballpark for Aaron Judge is a home run.
Yep.
And the Yankees did a really good job of securing that asset back. I think that he will just simply continue to step right in and continue.
So not to interrupt you once again, but I'm going to interrupt you. The most important signing of all these signings, when it comes to the odds, when it comes to the mission to get a World Series championship, you think it's Aaron Judge?
Number one, not because it's the number one signing, not because the Yankees were able to keep him in New York. Bigger than that, the Yankees didn't let him go. They didn't let him go to a New York Mets. They didn't let him go to a Padres. They didn't let him go to an LA, right? That to me is bigger than actually signing him, is not letting him go. But anyway, so you get down to the aspect of, does that make the Yankees my World Series favorite? No, it doesn't. It just secures their place. They're going to have to do two more things here. In my opinion, they're going to have to go out and get another big signing this offseason, and at the trade line, get two big signings, and one will have to be in that bullpen.
Okay.
Now let's move on to the Mets. Ooh, man. Mets. Ooh, buddy. It is hard right now. I don't care what the line changed. You better pay attention, though, to whether or not this deal gets inked, okay, with Correa, okay?
Yep.
Now, if you're somebody that might know a little bit more than others, like myself, that this deal is going to get inked, you take the Mets, and the Mets are my World Series favorite.
Oh, all right. Wow, out of nowhere. Would you have said they
are signing him.
The
Mets are going to sign him, mark my word. All this BS that happened with the Giants and their whole front office, this isn't happening in the New York Mets system right now. They have revamped their whole system, their ownership, and they are in it to win it. They are like they're down for any trade. They're down for any big side. They're like the fat kid on a seesaw. They're down for it. They're down. And that is what I love. And that is what you need as a player. And that is what, when you show up to the ballpark and you got owners up there saying, man, let's go win this sumbitch, man, you just play your ass off. So put it on the board. Correa is going to sign with them. And, you have the Astros. World Series lag is a big thing too.
Yeah, they got Abreu, but I mean, that's a nice acquisition, but it's not like, it's not like Judge. It's not the importance of Judge, not the importance of the million guys the Mets signed. And so the question I have for you is, when you were thinking about this, who you were going to say, this is my World Series bet at whatever, at plus whatever. This is my World Series bet. When you went to bed, was it the Mets, or was it only the Mets when you woke up this morning?
No. We're doing this show right now. As I speak, as of right now.
You're right. No, but I'm saying before. But I'm saying
my money is on the Mets.
Right, but
because I know here's what's going to happen, Rob. When Correa actually inks that deal, guess what's going to happen? The odds of them winning are only going to go up.
Right. Well, I think they've already gone up. I mean, I think that they weren't at plus 650. Yeah, like as of yesterday, and that's what I mean. It's like, is Correa the thing that put them over the top for you? They said
1,000%.
Okay.
1,000%. 1,000%. If first of all, I liked him after the Verlander.
Yeah.
Okay, because here's why I like that. Yeah, Verlander's old, but whatever. Yeah, Scherzer's getting old, but here's the thing. You put those two guys back together again, and they're going to feed off each other.
Okay.
No question. They're going to carry them.
Yeah. I mean, and by the way, and we just did this podcast last night. where like how great it is to be a Met fan, even before the Correa thing. Wow, it's incredible. And you had the great point about when players see this happening, you're like, let's go, right? And you have Senga, you have Correa, you have Verlander, they just signed Ottavino, you have Edwin Diaz, you have Nimmo, you have Quintana, you have Carlos Carrasco. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Okay, so Rob, on that point, that's a very good point, my friend.
Thank you.
You know, and here's another great point that I think you see a lot, being the studious reporter that you are. How many times do you see when a team has got their ass kicked the year before, didn't go as far as they were expected to go, have a manager of the year? That clubhouse is going to be hungry, my man.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to look forward to it a little bit, but I've looked at the schedule of the Mets in the first month of the season, and we'll talk about that later, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is, I mean,
buddy, there's a lot of Santa Claus money there, my friend.
I mean, forget about getting rich by the time we roll around to next December. You'll be rich by the end of April. All right. So here's the next. This is what I'm interested in. You have the next tier of teams. I want you to tell me the next tier of teams. These let's say these three teams. Which of them you say, okay, they belong in that top group? Okay, it's the Padres at plus 1,000. You have the Braves at plus 1,000, and the Phillies, who invested a crap load of money and stuff too, at plus 1,400. I mean, all of a sudden, you have the Mets in that division, same division, at plus 650. And now you have the Phillies dropping down the team that everyone thought they were going head-to-head with at plus 1,400. What's happening? So which of those, what are you doing? Are you buying or selling?
I'm going to tell you this much here, and this is a little other insight. The World Series champion, you know, I picked the Mets. But if it isn't the Mets, I'm going to tell you right now, the World Series champion is coming out of the NL East.
Okay. So you love, if you want to put down money on a team, not the Mets, it would probably be the Phillies at plus 1,400, right?
Bam, man! Look at you. You're a genius, Rob.
I'm learning about this. I'm learning from you. Thank you for teaching me. Thank you for guiding.
So it's almost like a little insurance there, you know. On that would be for me to take the Phillies and put a little insurance bet on them. But you know, first of all, you know, being from playing with the Red Sox, Rob.
Yeah, you did.
I did. And I'm just getting disappointed more and more and more.
Well, they are at plus 6,000 right now.
You know, you don't even scratch pennies with the Red Sox right now, in my opinion. You know, you're not even scratching two pennies together to form a nickel. I mean, it's Bogart still. Look, and you can say that the Padres are even making a great run too.
Right, plus 1,000. I mean, they're right there.
Yeah, they're right there too. But you get to the point where you say, okay, Papelbon's calling for a Subway Series this year. That's what I'm calling for. Okay.
Okay.
You know, everybody wanted the Subway Series last year. I didn't think the Subway Series, we were ready yet for another Subway Series, but it's time. Okay. Judge is back. They got their big signee back. The Mets are pouring money. They got their sub. It's going to be a Subway Series, and I think it's going to go down in history as one of the best World Series ever.
But nice. And I mean, the Yankees don't only have Judge. I mean, you got Carlos Rodon to go with Garrett Cole, and I mean,
Rodon was a great sign. That's
great signing. Yeah.
Look at that's that insider report. Yeah, that was a sneaky sign.
Yeah. Well, listen, I mean, and you talk about those top tier teams, and you mentioned the Red Sox plus 6,000. Think about this is the teams that are around them. So the Orioles are plus 5,000. They're favored ahead of the Red Sox right now. And another team that overnight dropped down, plummeted, was the Giants at plus 5,500. I mean, holy crap. You know, it's so.
Yeah, the Giants are just, the Giants are, to me, the Giants need to go about it a different way. They need to rebuild from the inside out. I think that's the way they did it when they won their original, and they pull in a signee here and there, free agent. But when I look at their odds, you know, first of all, when I look at all the future odds, okay, what I do is the first thing I do is I go through and I X out immediately who I don't think is even going to contend. And I marked out the Astros right away.
I
don't think it is so hard to repeat. They lost their leader in Verlander, and I don't care what their odds are. I'm not going to take them. I'm not even going to throw some insurance on them. So to me, I go for a longer shot like the Orioles, who are showing you that they're making moves to make a run, right? And then when they make that run, ownership says, "Oh, let's go sign one more guy, or let's go get a bullpen guy to lock it down in these playoff games." And then, all of a sudden they get hot, and they're plus 6,000. You know, wow, those are the dreams you make of. Those are like your horn high yo bets in a crap game, where you're throwing out a quarter or something like that, or a nickel, and you're saying, "Man, let me turn this into 500."
So let me regroup and define your strategy when it comes to, let's say you have the team that you think is going to win the World Series. We know that that's going to be the Mets. That's your team that you think is going to win the World Series bet. Then you have your insurance bet, which is the Phillies. Still, you know, it's still way up there in terms of one of the favorites. And then you have the flyer. Let's take a flyer on this team. And you're saying right now, and you can add another team in here if you want, but you say the Orioles at plus 5,000. That's the one you would go with.
And okay, so, man, golly, Rob, you catch on quick, man.
Yeah, well, again, you're guiding me. You
you ever play craps? You'd probably be a good craps player. But anyway, we'll get on this. So, correct. So I'll place 3 bets, okay? And when I place my World Series bet, I'm gonna tell you one thing. I look all the way into ownership, okay? Because you have to have an ownership that is willing to go spend and say, "Oh, we're not satisfied." So you look at the Houston Astros, they are so satisfied this year. And that's why it's so hard to repeat, because unless you are at the top of the race again the very next year and all healthy, the owners are saying, yeah, we just won. Let's go try it again, but we're not going to blow our wad here. You want those ownerships like the Mets, like the Yankees, you know, your Dodgers, your Phillies right now. The Phillies ownership, I mean, God, I wish I would have had this ownership when I played. Oh my God.
Well, you wish you had the Mets ownership.
We don't have time for reminiscing right now, Rob. We're trying to make money.
All right. Well, let me give you mine. All right. Can I give you mine?
Let's see. Let's go.
All right. So I'm going to go with, I'm actually going to go with, as my pick, I'm just going to go to the fail-safe. I'm going to go with the Dodgers. I'm going to go with so I'm going to go with the Dodgers because they're at
plus 1,000.
They are plus 750. So
750.
The Yankees, so it's once again Astros 650, Mets 650, Yankees 700, Dodgers 750, and Padres 1,000. So I will go with the Dodgers as, you know, my pick, because I think that they didn't do the shock and awe of a lot yet. I mean, they still might, but they haven't done it. But still, they've added here and there. I think JD Martinez is going to have a good year there. You know,
that's a great call.
Noah Syndergaard, 1-year deal. You know, he's not Noah Syndergaard of old, but he can be like a decent starter for them. And they've already got a ton of talent there. So there you go. There's my pick. My fail-safe pick is going to be I'm going to go back with the Phillies, just because, you know, to your point, I think that if you get in position, there is no GM which I'd rather have in position when you get there say, hey, we're going to figure this out and get what we need to get. And they already have a lot. And so my flyer pick, Pap, my flyer pick. Now I am tempted by the Cubs, who sit here even after signing Dansby Swanson at plus 8,000. I can't do it. I just not ready, not quite ready. I'm going to go with the Texas Rangers at plus 5,000 because I have the image of Jake DeGrom dominating them and them already spending a crap load of money from last year and them evolving into some of their younger players evolving into decent. Now that's just like
they're plus 5,000, right, Rob?
I'm looking plus 5,000. I mean, they're like, we both at plus 5,000. We both sat there plus 5,000 with the Orioles and Rangers. And I think probably we sit here and we're thinking, well, we're not counting on getting that money back. But that's okay. That's why these are our flyers. And so we'll see. But I like
you make a great point. Let me see here. Look, I like that Cubs bet, but the Cubs are still a long ways away. Just like
I'm surprised though at plus 8. They're so even with the Swanson signing. So, but still a little ways away. Yep.
It is, but like here's the thing though is you on your flyer bet, you have to be in with a team that is, hey, if we are in this thing, we are going to make a run, and you got to hope that your team makes that run. But you know, I really like the Phillies this year too. You know, bringing back Harper with Turner. When I played with them well in the Nationals, they played well together. So you know, I like that.
You're torn. It's just because you just came from Philadelphia, right? Correct. I mean, you were hanging with Chuck. You just came from Philadelphia. You were seduced by the city. Chuck Liddell, like hanging with all these people there.
No, man.
No. Okay. All right.
I'm bringing Chuck to the Egg Bowl next year, by the way.
Are you? Okay. Can you get him on this podcast? Does he like baseball? Does he like betting? Oh, I like him.
Yeah, he does.
All right. Well, let's go. I mean, let's go.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yes.
We'll see.
All right. Well, let me ask you this about you talk about insight and you talk about knowing what's what. One thing that you said, and I'll say it again, which I find intriguing, and this is the sort of thing that you have to weigh in when someone like yourself says it, which is the impact that a club it has on a clubhouse when you know they're going to spend, right? When you know that they're going to be all in. You were there when this Red Sox ownership was different than it is now, and they spent, like, you knew that they were going to go after guys. So how important is that for a clubhouse, and how demoralizing is it when you don't spend?
Well, I'll tell you what, Rob, I've been in both situations. Like I referred to earlier in Philadelphia, man, I wish I had this ownership. And in the Red Sox, I had that type of ownership. When you have that type of ownership and you have a manager that just, you know, he's not trying to control the team. He's just holding on to the reins and he's just kind of moving, you know, the team this way or that way. It makes for a good recipe. And when you have that club, and you've been in thousands of them, Rob, the minute you walk into that clubhouse, you can instantly know, man, these guys are gelling. These guys are, man, they're going to be hard to beat. You know, I mean, you know, when you walked in our clubhouse in the early 2000s in the Red Sox, it was pretty graphic, usually most of the time, you know, but that is how we
but jive. 07, so 07, you know you have a good team, right? You know you have a good
something team. That year everybody in the clubhouse was like, let's sweep this thing and get it over. We already knew, right? As a player, you know, the moment you step on the field whether we got them or not.
Right.
Now, as the game goes on, it may change throughout the course of actions that happen in that game, but the clubhouse atmosphere is what I'm talking about. And that clubhouse atmosphere extends to the front office and extends to the coach's clubhouse.
Yeah.
And when all those three things jive together and you're all in it, Dude, it makes it for a great recipe. And there's a lot of teams right now that don't have that jive with the front office and the manager, a la the Red Sox, right?
Yeah, yeah,
They don't
yeah.
have that cohesiveness to what I feel like take it all the way to the World Series.
Well, listen, I mean, like when players on a team, and I'm talking about the Red Sox, when players on a team say, we have to sign this guy, we have to sign this guy, and they don't sign him, and then the efforts to not sign him come out and saying, it wasn't that much of an effort, that has to have some sort of impact. But I'll tell you what, you talk about 07, you talk about even 08, where you guys had to start on the crazy schedule. I'll never forget talking to you in Toronto, like just bitching about the going to Japan and then LA, like, oh, what an awful trip. Anyway, no, I'm sorry, I take it back. I like going somewhere, but still, it was a tough way to start the year. It wasn't like you say, hey, we're awesome, let's go get them. It's just, I just want to need some sleep. I'll tell you the year that probably for you was the best example of this was 2011, up until the end of August. But that team was loaded, and you knew that it was loaded, and also that the front office had invested in it. And you know what? Forget about the last month. Up until that last month, you guys had the best record in baseball I must have felt that way, boom, in large part because of what the front office did, right?
Correct. I mean, you know, when you look at a baseball team, it is not just 25 guys out there playing. And when you bet on a baseball team, it's not just 25 guys out there playing. It is a training staff. It is what staff can keep those guys healthy. God almighty, what staff is literally losing guys left and right, can't keep their players healthy? What staff says, oh, let's go get a bullpen guy, because we know in the postseason, we're going to need bullpen. You can't win without a bullpen. Those little nuances of the game throughout a course of 162 games plays a long, long part. And if you don't think that players recruit players, you're crazy. Trey Turner's back with Bryce Harper. Max Scherzer's back with Verlander.
Yep.
I mean, it's crazy. So,
and by the way, you know who else? Lindor is back with Correa. Like, so
bam.
there you go. So there you go. Well, listen, I look forward to you giving everybody, sharing the world with the world, all your inside information. It's very nice of you. It's like charitable of you to do this, to make people as rich as you are. So excellent.
Well, I appreciate it, Rob. And you know what? I love to give back to the community. So, why not keep this a secret anymore, my friend?
All right. Thanks.